He hits this ball to deep right field. Forget about it.
Oh, boy, that was not what you were looking for, especially from Clayton Kershaw. What's going on? I am Greg Bergman, at Bergman Greg on Twitter, at Bergman Greg on Instagram. There are a lot of people in the concourse outside the press room right now, so it looks like I'm talking to myself with all these people just hanging out. I got Michael, the security guard, hanging out next to me. He's helping me out. Appreciate you all for being here on the Blue Review. You can find me on ESPN Los Angeles Twitter. You can find me on Dodger Blue 1958 on YouTube, on Facebook, and on at Bergman Greg on Instagram. Now, this is where we are going to start. We have to start with the place that everybody wants to start off with, and that happens to be the man himself, Clayton Kershaw. As Edward Vento on Periscope is saying, can't blame Kershaw completely when the offense was non-existent. Now, the offense was non-existent because Steven Strasburg was keeping everyone completely off balance. He was throwing a curveball over and over again. He was throwing pitches that they were expecting to see a little bit more velocity, a little bit more fastballs, and he just wasn't throwing at them. And you're constantly at a two-strike count like the Dodgers were, and that's why it got so they were around 55 pitches through 3, 4, or 5 innings. That's going to be, you're in trouble because he's consistently at that two-strike count. When you're at that two-strike count, you have to be swinging at those pitches because you're not sure what's going to happen. That was not on the offense. All of that was on Strasburg pitching a hell of a game. Clayton Kershaw, another story. He had a beginning of that game that was pretty terrible. He started off in a very bad way. He started with a run in the first inning. He did get out of that. Second inning was just as bad. Gave up another couple runs, especially off of the Anthony Rendon double off the wall. And then this is what you have. You're down 3-0, and the game is essentially out of hand at that point because of the way that Steven Strasburg was dealing. They got close. He had a couple chances to get there late in the late innings. You had bases loaded. Bottom of the 9th inning. Corey Seager at the plate. 2 strikes. He struck out. I really thought that man was going to be the guy that was going to have the big game for the Dodgers tonight, and it just didn't happen. And what you're saying, so a lot of what I'm going to get here today, I've already seen it. Janice Day off saying, postseason Cody back at it again. Can't blame Kersh. Okay, there's one of them from Jared Portskin. But postseason Cody back at it again. Yesterday was a totally different story. Yesterday, I thought that he had good at-bats. He worked a bunch of walks. He was using the count. Today, the swing just wasn't there, and it doesn't look like he looks a little bit more like Cody from the last couple postseasons. Now, he wasn't walking when he's getting on base, and he was swinging at pitches that he normally hasn't been swinging at this year. But again, you're also facing guys like Steven Strasburg and Max Scherzer, and it's going to make it that much more difficult. So, what you going to say about it? This was a great game from Steven Strasburg. I can't really say it any other way. I'm not going to get upset about it. I called a sweep. I was wrong. I'm going to say it right off to you. I was wrong. I wish that I was not, but that's the way that it's going to be. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. All right, let's see what else you got. Double Dribble 17, who, of course, only comes into the stream after a loss because he loves to see me squirm just a little bit. False. They went back to swinging happy from the first inning. They were not swinging happy from the first inning. I disagree with you, Double Dribble 17, because of how they went to when you're in a constant 2-strike count, you're going to have to swing at pitches that you normally wouldn't have to because you're expecting pitches that are looking at like there's fastballs right over the middle of the plate and they just drop out because of that 4-seam fastball that Steven Strasburg was throwing consistently where it would just drop out of the zone. When that happens, you swing at pitches, and if you ever played baseball, that is not an easy pitch to hang off on. Even if you're a major leaguer, even if you're not, it doesn't matter. Those are difficult pitches to get through. Frank Mag says Dodgers take the next 2. I really hope so. Scherzer, he looked all right. He got through an inning, nothing special there, but let's see what happens when he's actually in Nationals Park and he's pitching an entire game. He didn't look all that great against Milwaukee, and Milwaukee just kind of swings away. So I think I like what I'm seeing. Hopefully Hyun-Jin Ryu comes in and looks much more like Walker Buehler in Game 1 and not like the beginning of Clayton Kershaw in Game 2, because Clayton Kershaw took them out of the game that early. And you knew what was going to happen. After the first 3 innings, he settled down, got a couple 1, 2, 3 innings, and then he cruised right through 6. Of course he's going to do that because he's already down 3-0 and he can relax because it's like, all right, now I'm already at that point. Unfortunately, he was bad at the first couple innings, and those first couple innings are what ruined it. I love how people just stare at me. Hello, you don't have, that's fine. Don't worry. Don't apologize. It's totally fine. Go's a drummer says I've been saying your name wrong completely for months now. So Go's a drummer. I've been saying Go AZ drummer. I apologize. Dodgers never winning a World Series. That's just such a defeatist attitude, and they still are the best team in baseball. Just because they lose Game 2 doesn't mean that the whole season's over. That's it. Time for Dodgers to move on from Kershaw. You're way too early on that. First of all, they just signed him for a 3-year deal. Whether he gets to that where he gets in that 3-year deal, whether he's coming out of the pen at some point, who knows? He could be a guy like John Smoltz, who had a great career as a starting pitcher. Yes, he did get a World Series championship, although, in as many tries, just the same way. Or he could be like Adam Wainwright, who was in the pen and then he became a starter. But John Smoltz was a great closer at the end of his career, and I think that's the same thing that you can see from Clayton Kershaw at some point in his career too. So Jermaine Armenta on Facebook says, whose idea was it to start Kershaw? It was Dave Roberts and Andrew Friedman's decision, and I understand why you're going to do that, because you want him to come out of the pen in Game 5 if there happens to be a Game 5. What's up, man? How you doing? I am Greg Bergman. What's going on? Thank you. Hey, appreciate you. Have you too, man. There we go. See people walking down the concourse just saying hello. This needed to be Ryu's night to start, plus the offense wasn't being patient at the plate. Play some small ball just to make contact with the ball. Time to regroup and focus on the next game. I think you got the end of that right. Time to regroup and focus on the next game. I just don't agree that they were swinging away at bad pitches. Though Steven Strasburg is an excellent, excellent pitcher who came into the postseason through 22 innings, giving up 1 total run. That's it. 1. That's it. And he gave up another 1 just tonight. Again, he is a fantastic pitcher that kept this team completely off balance from the get-go. He was challenging them with pitches, getting to 2-strike counts really early in the count, so he's always in that pitcher's count. It was either 1-2, 0-2. It was never the other way. You never saw 2-1 or 2-0, where hitters can now be a little bit more patient and wait for a pitch. When you're constantly in that 2-strike count, you're gonna have to swing away, and there's really not much else you can do about that. All right, over here on the Instagram, Pollock, Joe Cool 1967, Pollock looks terrible at the plate. I can't disagree with that. A.J. Pollock has looked just awful on his in the first 2 games of this series. I think he's struck out almost every time he's been up. He may have gotten a pop out here or there, but for the most part, he has struck out in every single at bat that I can remember. And yes, I thought that A.J. Pollock was going to be the man for this entire series, or just for this playoffs in general too. Just didn't happen, and so I'm very, very disappointed in what I'm seeing from A.J. Pollock, especially right now. Steve McEwen on Facebook says, what happened to Bellinger's swing? He looks lost. It's not so much that he looks lost. I think this was a bad game for him, and he was sitting there, and we saw you last night. How are you? Yeah. Back and forth we go, right? So, look, it's just going to be one of those situations where, yeah, he is swinging at pitches, but again, he's down in the count so often that you have to swing. Unfortunately, I wish that he was swinging better. Right now, I trust Max Muncy a hell of a lot more than I trust Cody Bellinger, and that's just the truth. All right, Frank Mag says they just used their best pitcher. They had to take one. Of course they used their best. Strasburg was their best pitcher. They thought they were going to take the Corbin game. Corbin pitched great. Then you have Scherzer, who is actually their best pitcher on Sunday. It's a very difficult pitching staff. People were very worried about this because of their pitching staff, and look what happened. Strasburg looked fantastic through 5 innings easily. I think he was perfect through 4 or 5. Doesn't work. Kevin Meteora, Magic Johnson's presence did something to them. I don't know anything about that. There's things that I can and can't say, and that's one of the areas where I can't say anything. So I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to go there. Sean Greg, yep, that's my name. Caustic left my, don't blame Magic, Kevin. There you go. See, you guys are talking to each other. I love that. Always talk amongst yourselves in these chat rooms. It's important. Cesar Game says we need to come out strong to begin. We've been coming out weak. Look, again, disagree. On yesterday, came out strong, went through 3 innings, or went through the first inning, got almost 30 pitches, worked the count against Patrick Corbin, got 1 run across, and had the bases loaded. Didn't happen that way tonight. Scherzer was not allowing that to happen tonight, and that was because of, Strasburg. That's because of Steven Strasburg. That is not because of the Dodger hitters. That is because they faced an excellent pitcher in Steven Strasburg who kept them completely off balance. Think about this. He was averaging 12 pitches through the first 4 innings. He was around 44 to 45 pitches through 4 innings because he was just dealing over and over and over again. It was fantastic to watch if you're a Nationals fan. So I'm not going to blame the Dodgers hitters on that. I just think Strasburg came to play. Exoner in 2 games. Nick Molina 3 says, how long can the Nationals ride with 2 pitchers? They can, in a short series, they can ride the entire way through if they really need to. But like they said afterwards, after this game yesterday, Davey Martinez said that, what's up, man? Davey Martinez said that Patrick Corbin is going to pitch Game 5, so I wouldn't expect to see him in Game 4 unless he's coming out of the pen like Scherzer did. On 2 days rest, he can very easily do that, pitch an inning. Smart. Look, Davey Martinez was smart in one way, and it didn't make any sense in the other way. He started off by, you had Steven Strasburg, who was absolutely dealing, getting into a little bit of trouble in 5th and 6th inning, but then you take out Strasburg with 85 pitches thrown. It was a little bit weird to me. I mean, it ended up working out. Hey, how are you? I'm going to be talking for an hour, so if you come by again, I'll still be talking. That's it. So, Big Heck 22, so does Seager. I'm not sure what that one's about. JCB the Great, put Beatty in left field for Game 3 instead of Pollock. Look, Game 3, Pollock is going to be in there for Game 3. I don't think you're going to see Beatty, even though he did get a hit. That was just a hit. So, Pollock, they're going to give another chance, and I think this is the biggest thing for it right here, is that someone put this up for me. Thank you, X on Zero says, Pollock 0 for 8, 6 Ks, 1 walk. That's not going to get it done, especially in a series like this. I understand why he wasn't. I mean, he was in that. He had seen Strasburg more than anybody else. He was 7 of 14 coming into this game against Steven Strasburg. He was supposed to kill lefties. That's why he led off today. He's 6 Ks.